I always tell people in case you're like, what happened? Where'd he go? So if you're
It's
wondering
okay.
if I go
It's okay.
AFK. Anyway, yeah. Let's start. We're like a couple minutes late. My apologies. So anyway, I'll do the
No, it's
intro.
fine.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my talk show. I'm your host, That One Rebel here, and I'm your host, and it's my talk show, Late Enough Rebel, and this is our guest, Ayla. Sorry, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Ayla.
Ayla,
Yeah,
Ayla
so
Mao.
yeah, it was meant to be like a funny meme, and then I've had like more issues with like people trying to pronounce my name than anything else. But yeah, I'm Ayla Mel. Hi.
How would you just best describe yourself if people don't know who you are?
Uh, I'm like a variety streamer. Well, actually, I'm more so like a VR chat streamer now, but
Mm-hmm.
I do like variety as well. Um, I'm 26. I'm from Australia, and I'm really silly. Like I'm just like really wonky, like a lot. Just in case anyone doesn't know, I'm not very good at interviews. I'm sorry,
No,
but
it's
yeah,
fine. It's
hi.
fine. This is just think of this like a casual conversation where I just ask questions and you answer them, and then we just share stories and stuff. So it's nothing too serious. My first question for you is how'd you end up getting into VR chat? Like how did you end up here of all places? I'm just genuinely curious.
VR chat's like kind of a weird thing for me because I had known about it for like quite a while beforehand because I had like some friends who played it,
Mhm.
and I like didn't understand it at first. I was like, I don't get it. It's just like it's like a chat room, but like you're in VR, like which is basically what it is.
Mhm.
So like when I my first impressions of it was like really weird. I was like, I'm not quite sure like I couldn't get like most of the things in context. So it took me like a few times to actually like come back over like a small break and then try and get into it. Um, but basically, after I'd been streaming for about 6 or 7 months, I'd made more friends who were playing VR chat, and I was like, I want to like be a part of their world and see what that's like. So I started playing with them and like their friends, and then eventually I started roaming around in pugs by myself, and I made
Mhm.
like my own friend group, and then I've been addicted ever since. So yeah, I think that's like the same for most people.
Yeah, like your friends
For
get
sure.
you play because of your friends and stuff like that. I've heard many stories like that similar. Um,
Mm.
That's interesting though, because most people play because of or get into VR chat because of other streamers, because of like, oh, I watched a YouTube video and oh, I want to play this game. Like, what is VR chat? So it's interesting that your friends
Mm.
brought you into VR chat.
Yeah, so I when I started doing like Twitch and stuff like that, I had actually never seen any Twitch streams previously, so I was like really new to it. And then it was kind of the same with VR chat. I didn't have any friends who were streamers or who streamed VR chat. I didn't know anyone from this community at all, so it was kind of like it was just kind of like a deep dive in. The first streamer who I ever met, and I actually met them before they started streaming, was Colas.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like the first VR chat streamer I ever started watching, and we started around like roughly the same time. So that's kind of how I got into it, and I got to see like the not streamer side of VR chat, but in like a stream. It was weird. I don't know, but it was super fun, and I really liked it. So yeah.
That's interesting. I know Colas. I known them over like 2 years ago. They used to be a mute. Now
Oh
they talk. So
yeah, yeah. I'm very proud. Very proud of them. Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So
So I have another good question for you. So, how did you decide on designing your OC, your character, your mascot, the one that represents you in your in VR chat? Like, why did you pick like a cat girl, or what is your is this what your mascot is? Like, how did you come up with the idea? And
yeah, yeah. So I had been playing for like quite a while, and I had tried to make like OCs in the past, but
mm-hmm,
I was just never really happy with them because I'm like I can't draw, I can't make like VRChat models. So I ended up making friends with like an artist
mm-hmm,
in 2018, and I was like, can you like if I just throw ideas at you, can you like just draw whatever I say? And she's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, okay. And I was like, purple hair, cat ears, and I was like, I want her in pajamas, and then that was basically it. And I've always really liked the like we call it the comfy aesthetic. I'm the most laziest person I've ever met in my life. I don't like getting out of bed. Like rolling out of bed for this was like a struggle. I was like, I could just I'm like, if he doesn't respond to me, I might go back to sleep. Like, oh my god.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't do that. I'm not rude, but I seriously contemplated it. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, so I love that whole like just being chill and being
Mhm.
like comfortable, and I just love that whole aesthetic. And I think like this tone of purple is just like it really relaxes me. So and I like cats. So that's another thing. So
Okay.
that kind of just all turned into this. And she's kind of like a is the word evolved that I want to use? I don't know, but she's kind of evolved over like the last year and a half.
Yeah,
So this
involved.
is like the most newest one. The other one had like long sleeve, like it looked like hotel pajamas.
Mhm.
I'm not very good at designing things, but it's fine. And but yeah, and I just liked it. So yeah, I like yours by the way. Yours is very lovely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, why are you always blushing? Are you blushing because you're seeing me, or is there a reason why you're always blushing?
Okay, I get this question a lot. Like I get it a lot on stream. It's actually so the model actually came like this. This was like a I paid for this model from someone else. Like they made it, and I was like, I
Yeah.
like it, I want it. And then so it had like the blush thing on, and I think it's meant to be like I never used Tumblr, so I'm not sure. But it's like a really old like Tumblr aesthetic, like the you know the look of like it's really cold,
Yeah.
like that look. I think it's meant to be that, and I just wanted to keep it. So it looks like I have like it looks like I'm sick like all the time, and I don't know. I thought it was cute, so it kind of just stuck.
All right. I just was wondering. I was just like, is she bugged out? She's just constantly, because like some people constantly do emotes, so I was just like, is she just
Yeah,
constantly emoting? Like, what's going on here? That's interesting
that's
though.
okay.
Well, I appreciate the compliments towards my avatar. Yeah, I'm quite the package, the whole package. You know.
Thick package.
Yes.
I like it though. I like your like goggles and the hat. Like it's all very nice. It kind of looks like
Yes.
Cindy from Final Fantasy 15.
That's where it's
Is
inspired
it?
from.
I see it. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks
I
good. I like how much.
when I was well, this is not like the original outfit I had made. I have three outfits, and
Okay.
this is my third outfit I had for my character. My character's name is Ryder, and she's like a tough biker chick. So when I was doing getting into Callous Row, which is an RP that I do every Friday, so after this interview I'm going to that roleplay. I wanted to
Mhm.
create like an outfit or like an outfit for that role play. So I designed Ryder, it's my character's name, um, to be a mechanic. So I was thinking of mechanics, right? Like a female mechanic, and most of them just wear like jumpsuits, like actual female mechanics in real life. And I thought that'd be pretty boring. I was just like, come on, like there's more to it than that. It's anime, right? It's fantasy. I can do whatever I want. So I started looking at
Mhm.
video games, and I remember I never played like Final Fantasy 15, but I remember seeing Sydney all the time, in like view art and whatever, and I was just like, damn, she's hot. I'm like,
Mhm.
what if I added
She was
Final
basically
Fantasy?
like the mascot.
Yeah, so I wanted to make like Final Fantasy 15 Sydney, and then I didn't want to make an exact replica of her. So I decided to take her, and then I also looked at a Pokemon trainer, like female Pokemon trainer, and then matched the two. So it's not exactly because like Cindy has like
That's the
long
jacket,
sleeves.
right?
Yeah, that's like the jacket,
Mm.
design, but there are some different differences between mine and Sydney's. Like, I have like a
Mm.
ponytail as my character wearing the outfit. She's a lot more thicker. Has piercing, the gloves and
Yeah, I think I just see it
stuff.
from like an inspiration perspective. I
Yeah,
think it's like the only thing that gave it away to me is like where the jacket crops and like obviously boobs, and then like the shorts and stuff. It's like it really reminded me of her, and I wanted to bring it up the last time I saw you, but I was like, I could be wrong. I
no, it's
looked it up
fine.
and
It's you're
it
exactly right. And my next outfit, which is that one over there in the giant wall,
I'm, I'm hyped for that one. That one's gonna be so nice.
that's for when I
Oh,
do interviews. But that one is directly inspired from League of Legends, Fura. So if you ever play League,
Fiora, right?
the
That's a
headmistress.
really old skin. Yeah, that's a really old skin. That's what, like 8 years old or something? That's
Yeah.
cool. I thought about that too. It's because of the scarf.
Yeah, because when I was thinking of getting what do you call it, like avatars or sorry an outfit for like a interview, most of them just wear like a white shirt and like a blouse or a skirt, and I'm just like, what? That's
Oh,
boring. So I started to look at video games again, and I was just like, ah. I remember I never really played League, but I remember there's a lot of cool skins. So I was just like, huh, let me look around, and
mm,
I saw the headmistress. I was like, that's cool. if I just made that. So I had a person draw that, and I'm going to get it made in 3D.
It's super nice.
So
Mm.
yeah,
It looks really good.
yep. And
I'm
then
very
my
excited to see the new avatar.
and then the one after that is literally just inspired from 2B, but like modified again. This looks
Mm.
different. I have a picture on stream, but anyway, this interview is about you, not not about me.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry I'm not like sitting on a chair.
No,
I
it's fine.
realized that like my neck probably looked really janky.
Yeah,
So I just
everyone's
oh
neck looks jacked up, even mine. So
no, you look absolutely fine.
it's
There's
because
nothing like happening to
when
you.
you sit in these chairs, you have to press seated and stand in play. So if you're like sitting, you have to press standing play. So I'm actually technically standing play, but I'm sitting in a chair. It makes it so your neck's not scuffed. That's how you
Oh,
fix it. So if you play seated play, it should. Oh well. Uh.
okay. No,
It's
no, that's
whatever.
not happening.
Sometimes it breaks, sometimes whatever. It's just these chairs are using a custom animation that
Mm,
overwrites. That's why like I'm sitting like a guy, and this is not on purpose. My character actually sits like a girl. It's just that these chairs, they take wherever your hip
mm.
is, like your hip bone, and then it
And
places
then
it on the
like switch
chair.
over.
No, it places on the chair, so you can be literally the size of an ant or like 50 feet tall, and it will always make you perfectly sit in the chair. So it doesn't matter if
Oh,
you're a
that's
lolly or
crazy.
not. Yeah, but it scuffs up the neck. That's the one problem with these chairs. It's a special prefab.
Um,
Because if you ever make
I still
worlds,
don't.
the worst thing about making worlds is that everyone's player height is different. So if you're a lolly and you sit in a chair, you're usually like like inside the chair or under the chair, right? You always see that like stupid bug.
Mm,
That happens all the
yeah.
time. But these chairs overwrite and make it so your hip bone is always on the bottom of the seat. So then you're always sitting properly, but it breaks in other ways. So
Oh, okay.
anyway, so tell me some stories about VR chat. Like, what's your most weirdest experience you've had in VR chat so far?
Like encounter?
Yeah, encounter.
Um, so like the weird thing is that I joined VR chat pretty late, so I never really felt like I had weird encounters. I guess, uh, yeah, like I don't know, like pugs, like they're obviously not the same now. They're very different. They're very like boring now. But back then it was just nice because like people were able to like express themselves like or
Mm.
just like be themselves however they wanted to without like fear of like other people or anything like that. And like just in general, I found that really strange. Like when I first joined VRChat, I was just so like surprised by it, like because VRChat is technically my first real interaction with like people from around the world, right?
Mhm.
Before that, like yes, I played games with like friends from overseas, but it was never the same because it was never like really in real time. Like I could never see them and like effectively like touch them or anything like that. So like I don't really have like weird stories, but when I first started playing VRChat, all that stuff like blew my mind. But I'm sure there is like one thing maybe that was really weird. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm like surprised by really weird things, but not like weirdly normal things surprise
Mhm.
me, like just how people behave and stuff. But I think when people do crazy shit, like that doesn't like bother me as much because I'm just like, like I don't
It's
know.
like, oh, that's
I'm
funny.
so yeah. So, but I think there's just so many like different types of people like that play this game. So you're always bound to find someone like interesting or who does something really weirdly eventually. So I think that's like a really cool part about this game. But other than that, I think like the game's been around for so long that things stop surprising you after a while. Do you ever feel that?
Sometimes it depends on the situation. I think there's always some things I've never seen. I'm like, wow, I never thought I would see that. That happens once in a while, not
Hmm.
as often as back in the when I first started playing. Yeah, I would see like things all the time, but nowadays it's like I sort of see like the same generic stuff, and once in a while you find like that diamond in the rough, and you're like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll give an example of a really common weird encounter. How often do you go to Publix? Do you go to Publix regularly or once in a while?
I haven't been to a public in about 6 months,
Oh, well.
just because. Yeah, it's been like a while. So I think it was more or less when I started streaming more. I um I don't know, pugs just felt different. Like I couldn't go there
Yeah.
and have fun anymore. And I'm not
Mhm.
sure if it was the fact that like like I know a lot of streamers and stuff make alt accounts. I never had like a run in with anyone who was like, "Hey, you're a streamer," but I just had like this fear in me, probably instilled by like other people, I guess. And I was just like, "Oh, I'm too terrified to go to pugs." And like the few times that I had gone, it was just kind of like it was just people like sleeping, and I was like, "Ah, like
Oh,
I'm like I get this." Oh, sorry, no, that was me. Sorry. I'm like I get this enough in like private world. I want to tell Brian or something, and or like people are like super angry in Publix or, like every time I went, like they like crashed everyone in the world or something, and I was
yeah.
like, this isn't fun anymore. So I haven't been in a long time, but the last time I went, I like had an absolute blast because like Publix were like the best place to like drink and like meet people. It was so much fun, like
Mhm.
and people pull out like the craziest avatars in public worlds because I think there's like a common courtesy thing, right, with like private worlds. It's like you don't pull out like crazy avatars or like you don't do like crazy animations because like people are on like different time zones. So like if people are in privates, they're probably sleeping or something like that. But in public worlds, people are just nuts like 24/7, and that's what
Yeah.
I liked about it. But I don't think it's really the same anymore. I think if the game ever like spikes again with like memes and stuff, I think more people will come back, or more people will be like more willing to go back to public worlds. But for now, I think I'm just gonna steer clear for a little bit because I don't know. It's been the same every time like I tried to go back, so I don't know.
I get what
I
you're
don't know.
saying. Um, it's funny because there's actually 10,000 people that play VR chat every day, or at least like probably on average, maybe like 8,000, 9,000,
Oh,
10,000 probably on weekends because it's party
oh,
time. But you wouldn't know that, right? Because you're thinking, wow, there's 10,000 people, but I never see anybody. So how does that work? It's because everyone's sitting in a
yeah,
private
it's
world.
so empty.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because
Like if you look at like basically like any
whoops,
world that's in the what is this category called? Hold on, let me
hot.
sorry. I always forget.
It used to be called popular.
Like hot or like yeah or something like that. There's not anyone like it's like under like 80 people or like and that's amongst like different instances
Hmm.
or maybe even less than that and I'm like oh like there's probably like 150 like maybe a max of like 500 people playing. I didn't realize it was that much. So many.
It's because you don't see the
They're all
instances because they're all in private. There's many reasons why people
mm,
go to privates all the time and not publics. I've discussed this many times in
mm,
different interviews, but it's for many different reasons. People don't want to deal with crashers. They don't want to deal with if you're streaming, someone going to say like something offensive, Monka TOS stuff. They don't want people
mm,
to steal your avatar, just have a bad time. Like, imagine, you're thinking your brain, right? Like, because like what you just said, right? Like, you haven't been in a public for 6 months. You just said, why would I go to a public if people are sleeping or just going to try and crash me or be annoying, right? Like that's the general
yeah,
consensus that most people have. They're like,
consensus.
why would I go to a public if it's going to be a bad time when I can just join my friends in a private world and have fun with my friends?
Mm,
That's fine,
mm.
but it hurts the game in the long run because it's created this meta or
I'm
like
also part of the problem.
I mean, I'm too. I mean, nobody's perfect. The problem is the long
Mm,
con is that obviously so many people are in privates that if you were just someone who's new to VR chat, right? Like you don't have any friends when you're playing VR chat for the first time, you load up and the only people you got is the public people and you join and people are gonna scream racist slurs at you and you're like, wow, okay, this is VR chat, uninstall this game. This game's trash because we're all
yeah,
lucky
pretty
that we
much.
started playing 2 years ago or whenever long you've been playing. But I've been playing 2 years, over 2 years now, and when I first started playing, I could go to Publix and have fun, and I've made over 1,000 friends now, where I can just join people and have fun and talk to people, and I know who to trust and who's not good for stream or whatever, right? Like I already have all these connections, but the average person nowadays
Mm,
doesn't. And a lot of people who start playing VR
mm,
chat are just going to follow the same trends of what other people are doing. So if people are getting in full body and sitting in front of a mirror and sleeping, then that's the meta. That's what people are going to be like, oh, VR chat, that's the game where you sit in front of a mirror. And they're like, okay, that's the norm now. Only people like
mm,
us are going to be the ones that remember 2 years ago we went around public, screwing around, having fun with friends. So
mm.
all the new
You know
players
what
are just gonna be like mere people and just crashers and modified client users and
mm.
annoying people. So
the, the thing that I am happy about is that like obviously because I came to VR chat like really late. I came much later than everyone else. I was about 7 or 8 months after like the whole Uganda Knuckles thing,
Mhm.
because I like tried to play it and I was like, I can't do this. Like I like it, but it's not for me. Um, but oh my god, did I just forget what I was talking about? No, hold on, the train of thought will come back. Oh yeah. So basically, I like introduced and like one of my IRL friends to VR chat because he
Yeah.
like got VR. He was like, I want to try it. It looks fun. And I realized he's been playing the game for over a month now, maybe like 2 months, just on and off. And like we pretty much play together, or he plays with like some friends that he met through me.
Yeah.
But I realized that in that entire time that I was showing him around VR chat, I never took him to a public world once. Like it never crossed my mind at all that that was like an integral
Damn.
part of the game. And I'm like, oh my god, like I can't believe I just didn't think about it. I was like, I'm gonna think about like really cool words, and because I'm so used to just like when you stream, you're like,
Mhm.
uh, uh, make instance, like invite plus drop portal, and then that's it. So like I just it didn't even occur to me to like make a public world whatsoever. And I was like, it's such an integral part of the game, like when you first start, because that's how you make your own friend group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first friend group that you make is making it on your own, you know what I mean? So I was just like, I feel really bad because like I didn't actually show him what VR chat actually is. So I still need to do that. Oops. But we haven't like been playing together. So I was just like, ah. But yeah, I literally just thought of it just then and I was like, oh my god.
Yo, dummy,
I'm
thanks for
glad
the
we
raid. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. That's the problem. Like what you just said. Like you just showed your friend around for 2 months, and he's never been to a public. He's always been just in your worlds or friends' worlds, and
Oh
I
my.
mean, to be honest though, you are showing him the good side of VR chat. Imagine if your friend booted up VR
Mm,
chat for the first time, you weren't there, and he went to a public and had a bad time. He probably would have been like, VR chat, that's the bad game. That's the terrible game. I went in there and someone screamed at me and wanted to say they were going to kill me or something. Like, that's probably most
mm.
people's encounters nowadays. Is just they try and boot up VR chat because they're probably like, oh boy, I watched X streamer or X YouTuber. Oh man, VR chat's such a good game, and they boot it up and they're just like, yo, why
Mm.
is there people running around with naked avatars and spamming all this bad stuff at me? Like, what the heck is going on? So
Yeah, it's a bit much, especially if like without any context, you're just kind of like, what am I looking at? Like
exactly,
what's going on? Why are these people like head asses? Like I don't know what's
it
happening.
gives the
But
game a bad
just on
name. Yeah.
yeah, well just on like a thing that you said before, something that I really like about like streamers in VR chat, because I know that like streamers cop a lot of flack, especially in the VR chat community. Like in public world, streamers are not liked,
Yep.
and like I understand why. Um, kind of. It was weird because like yeah, like I've mentioned before, like I was super late to VR chat, blah blah blah. But I got to kind of understand and learn like the history of VR chat and like that was through streamers, so like their history and like the history of the game. I got to watch that on like YouTube through like other streamers who are like much bigger now or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was really nice because like the good parts of VR chat are still there. Like they're still like people can still watch them and still be like, whoa, I wish I was playing the game like back then. Like it looked really fun back then, you know? So I think it's really good that like all those like VODs or like videos or something like that or clips. I'm glad those still exist.
Mhm.
Like it got to show like the really old community and like how good it was. Not that the community is not good now. I think the community is really amazing now, but um it's the same thing in like every hobby. Everyone goes like, ah, the good old days that was so good and they don't exist anymore because of all these things. And I'm like, ah, okay, well I wasn't a part of it, but at least I can see what you're talking about. So I like I guess that's nice, you know, the history.
Yeah, the history. I was there. Um, I think I'm obviously a hypocrite here, but yeah, I do complain a lot about how like oh the good old days, you know. I do that constantly on stream, but what made the good old days wasn't just like going to Publix and having a good time, it was also just the people. You got to realize that it's been
Mm,
over 2 years now, and many people have left VR chat. They quit. If they're a streamer or not, some streamers they've gotten their success and moved on and become variety streamers or moved on from VR chat and they don't play VR chat anymore. And some people have gone their own paths and stuff. But what really made VR chat special was that it was like expecting your friends to come on every day. Like basically almost every day you would like see like 30 or 40 of your friends come on every single day and we would just be in a friends world and just have fun. That was what the golden age was all
Mm,
about. And there was no
mm,
expectations. We weren't like writing scripts or anything like that. Everything that we did was purely for fun. We're just messing around, having a good
mm,
time, and obviously most of those people that made the game fun are gone. They've moved on to other better,
mm.
bigger things, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way VR chat is. So, I mean, if you really wanted to like revive VR chat, if that was even possible, you would just have to have the same people come back or like similar, like-minded people to come back and have fun. I mean, the only
Like
difference,
similar personalities.
yeah, like I mean, there's new people, new streamers all the time that come to VR chat. They make their own memes or content or whatever, and that's just the way it is. I'm just one of those old boomers, none of the old people are still around. Like back in my day, sounds like just like old people in real life. They're always just like back in my day it was a lot better. These damn computers and video games.
As I've gotten older, I've like because I'm 26. I don't know how old that actually is, but I feel like I'm 80. Like I did my neck last week, and like I cannot cope. Like I've been wonky like for the last like yeah for like the last week. So I was terrified about doing this interview. But I think something about like getting older is that like I like when I was young, I was like, why do people talk like that? Like why not just like make every moment like the old days? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And sometimes you just can't, and I've realized that like as I've gotten older, and I'm like I'm glad that like I eventually kind of like opened my eyes and I was like it's okay to think like that and it's okay to say things like that because like you're remembering something that was good and that was fun, and like if you don't remember those and if you don't talk about those things, people will forget and it will eventually die.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think it's like a really good thing. So I don't think you have to worry about like people being like, oh, like, he's like saying those things, or like feel bad about the fact that you're saying it, or thinking that you're a boomer, because I don't think you are. But like, I think saying that stuff is fine because like if you don't say that, some people might be like, oh, I guess VR chat's always been like this, instead of like looking at like old videos from like older streamers or like older VODs, like when like you reference
Mhm.
something, like um I I don't know anything about like old teams, like old groups or anything like that. Like I kind of do, but not really. But like if it weren't for like some another streamer mentioning them, because I was like, who the hell is that? Like who? Like what's going on? Like what is this whole thing? Like where did this come from? And I would look it up, and I'm like, holy crap! There was like this entire like community that's not the same as what it is now, with like smaller groups, and like they all knew each other and they were all friends, and like they all did fun things and like collab with each other. This is really cool. So like if someone hadn't kind of said what you said, like about the like back in the day, like this person was doing this, like I wouldn't have known, and then I probably wouldn't have fallen deeper into like the chat and like the streamers that I watch now. So yeah, it's weird.
I get what you're saying. Basically saying that it's okay to tell boomer stories. Um, I mean, it's true. I mean, you're not wrong. I have plenty of stories. That's what I do on my stream a lot. Is if you ever watch me, I literally talk a lot and just tell stories, whether it's new or recent or old stories or whatever. That's what I do, or I just tell life advice and stuff, and then I do interviews. So that's just the way it was. I do think there will be a
Mm.
resurgence in VR chat. It may not like bring old people back, but we're all just sort of waiting right now, and what we're waiting for is Udon slash Unity 2018 to come out. Udon's already in early or
Oh,
open alpha, yeah, open alpha. So for those who don't know, Udon's basically tools to be able to make worlds in VR chat. So if you want to have like a really fancy world like scripting, like you wanted to make like a game mode like I don't know, Counter Strike or whatever game you can think of, Overwatch or something. I don't know, like Team
oh,
Deathmatch or something. With Udon, with those tools, you can make it in VR chat. So imagine playing as your avatar playing Counter Strike or something. Basically, that's what
I'm
Udon
so
is.
excited for it.
And then Unity 2018 is just upgrading the whole engine of the whole game, so it would fix like a lot of network problems. So like when let's say I shake your hand and like my hand moves like 3 seconds later because of latency, that'd be fixed. Or like
Is this that
dancing.
IK issue?
Yeah, that's what the IK is. Yeah. So it's fixed
Mm.
in 2018 supposedly because you can test it right now if you use the open beta. but it's not live, as in it's not like, like forced updated to the
Oh.
whole game yet. So we're waiting for those
Mm.
two big updates, and when those two big updates happen, I think it's going to greatly improve VR chat. I don't know if it's going to bring people back. I don't really know, because you gotta realize like the people that play, like the average person who plays VR chat is probably just someone who like chills with their friends in private worlds, or they go to Publix and cause trouble. Like I remember going to the Void Club 2 years ago, and nobody was at the mirror. Everyone was on the dance floor and just like, like woo, like
That
partying
sounds
and
so
stuff.
good.
It was
That sounds so good.
people. I remember like people would role play like improv. I remember like sitting down with this guy. He had like the Vin Diesel model from Fast and the Furious. He's like, "Yo, talk to me. I'm cousin Vinny. Hey, you looking for some bitches?" Just like, sure.
Oh my goodness.
Like the guy was just role playing for fun. He wasn't like we were just. I was like, "Yeah, dude, come on, show me how to pick up some girls." And he's just we were both in desktop
Mm.
mode, and that was the thing. Like people had fun. There was no like he wasn't scripting. I didn't even know the guy. We just
Mm.
that was it.
I feel like that's another thing that kind of died in public worlds was that like people who RP, people who were good at it ended up not going back to public worlds because like either people didn't really appreciate what they were like looking at or talking to, or like for the same reason as like everybody else, like they were getting crashed or like public worlds just stopped being fun. So I know like a lot of people who RP, and I know there's like a lot of RP like groups that do it in private worlds, and so like um I think that's actually one of the reasons why I stopped enjoying going to public worlds because I have like a lot of friends who I met through there just because I
Mhm.
thought they were the funniest people because I'm like, how can you be so smart to just like I can't RP at all. Like if I have to think about something, I like laugh too much. So I like think people like that are phenomenal, and especially because like on some level you're acting, right?
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what it is. And I'm just like I think that that's such an amazing like trait in someone. Like it's like an amazing skill that someone was able to learn, and I really appreciate it. But like I haven't met any new ones in a long time, a really long time. So
Yeah.
I guess that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Cause I missed that. I missed the random encounters. Like I remember when I first started playing, I have it like uploaded to my YouTube, and I have like literally probably 100 hours of footage I've never shown people, and it's just sitting on my external hard drive
Mm.
from two years ago because I used to record and I was just too lazy to edit because I'm in college. And I
Mm.
have this like there's just random moments. Like I have this guy. What was a famous film producer director that was like caught sexual harassing people? I forget his name.
Oh, Harvey
Uh,
Weinstein.
yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, there it is. So I played VR chat when that was like still like really really hot like drama or whatever. And so there's a guy
Yeah, it
who
was pretty
used
bad.
this avatar in just his underwear, like it's just like some fat guy in some underwear. He's like, "Hello, I'm Harvey Weinstein." He's like, "Hey, I can make you a movie star." He was just like talking like that in VR chat. He's like, "Hey, Toots, I'll make you a movie star. Just come over here. Let Harvey give you." I was just like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, he
I
gave me
haven't
he
heard like anyone say toots in so long.
yeah, he would
That's so weird.
he would just role play as Harvey Weinstein. It was hilarious. And then I chased him down. And
Oh.
he's like, it's funny because like there's this bunch of people. We were in the Great Pug, and a bunch of people chase after him. He's like, "Holy Christ! It's the whole cast of Ed, Ed, and Eddie." He's like, "Listen, we heard you doing some stuff," and just like people like in the Ed, Ed, and Eddie avatars from the cartoon, and they're just like,
Mm.
"Harvey, we know you're doing stuff," and they chase him into the bathroom, and then they made him bend over, like, "We're gonna probe you, Harvey." He's like, "No, don't." Make sure to get my good side.
I kind of like that though.
What, someone
It's
getting
so
probed?
good. Like, no, but I mean,
Oh.
like, just the fact that, like, they're, no, don't take it away. What the heck? Because, like, there was this one time I went to a pug and I met three moths. Like, they were just giant moths. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, this is really weird. And, like, they were just kind of, like, RPing with each other and then, like, other people that were in the world as well. And I just thought they were really funny and really kind. And, like, I like never liked to admit this because it was like in my early days of like being in VR chat, and I don't even know who it was to, but I eventually like got married to someone.
Mhm.
Like that was like my first, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I didn't even know there was like churches in VR chat. It was super weird. And the three moths ended up being like my bridesmaids. It was just like the best thing ever. And I
The
was like,
heck?
I love this game. Like, how can I give up this game? It's so good. Like, I'll never be able to get this anywhere else. So, I don't know.
Exactly. Moth boys.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Yeah, those random stupid moments is what makes VR chat happy or fun. I got married in VR chat once. It was for my waifu's challenge. But I kept. Do you know about my waifu challenge?
I think I met you like once before when you were doing it. Think like I was with Jensu.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I
I
collected
think we're in the same
Gensu.
world together. And
Yes. One of my
yes,
waifus. Yeah, I was collecting
she
151
is a waifu.
waifus. Yes.
Oh
Uh,
my god, did you
w-
finish it?
yeah, I got 151. I finished it, then I became this character. I became a waifu after collecting 151.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I thought that was you. Okay, so like I was like, I remember Rebel, but I don't remember Rebel looking like that. Like I remember
Yeah, I used to
like
play a
you
dude.
used to look like yeah, yeah,
I had a
yeah.
beard.
Okay. I do remember you. Oh my goodness. I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. And then when you like messaged me on Discord, I'm like, I recognize that name, but I can't remember from where. And then like I didn't associate like the both of you, like the male one and the Soci.
Listen, I'll show you
Oh,
my
it's nice
real
to meet you
form.
again.
This is my real form. See, I'm a man this entire time. What's up?
Is that what you look like IRL? And do you wear
No,
that many rings in real life?
no.
Oh. Are they meant to be like, are they rings or like knuckle dusters?
They're both. It says my character's name. It says Kenny K Kona. Every ring is one letter.
I recognize that name too. Oh my god, I'm out of my mind, Finn.
Yeah, Kenny K
Oh my
Kona. What's up, brother? It's me. I'm Kenny K Kona. I've
god.
returned.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. I didn't know. Well, I had my suspicions, but because
Yes.
your Twitter used to be this name, right?
Yes, it was. My Twitter was slash
Yes.
Kenny K Kona. Exactly right.
Oh, I remember. I remember. I got the big brain.
Yes.
I
And then
like
I
both of them.
and then before so in 2019 before I did the challenge, I actually was planning on rebranding anyway because I got tired of playing as Kenny Keiko as being a character and being like this fake persona of like being this hillbilly or whatever. So I collected 151 waifus and then shortly after that in late June of 2019, so early
Oops.
July, I I had a person draw this avatar and then draw this model and make it in VR chat, make it from scratch. So I rebranded my whole channel.
It looks so good.
I became a
I like
waifu.
that you've rebranded everything.
Yep,
Yeah,
all my emotes,
it's
everything.
just like I think the reason why I like it so much is your avatar doesn't really look like other avatars. Like I think like a lot of people who make OCs and stuff, they kind of go for like the same look.
Yep,
I just really appreciate like the mechanic type like that. Like it's like a hard like rocker chick, you know, and I really like that. I think you look so good. It's very nice.
thank
It's
you. It goes with my
like
whole
best rocker
rebel
waifu.
meme because, like what you just said, a lot of people look the same, right? I didn't want to look generic. I didn't
Mm,
want to look like everybody else. There's a reason why my character doesn't even have
mm,
a tail and ears. Not to
mm.
hurt on you or anybody else, but
Oh
to
no,
me,
no, no, no. Go ahead.
I'm not against it. It's just that I saw so many people having a tail and 8 ears, and I know I could like make
Mm.
like a skunk girl or a monster girl or whatever. But I was just like, what if I just be a normal human and then just make my own like hard rock or looking biker chick girl? And that's what I did, and it goes with my name, being a rebel, being against everybody else, being not the social norm. I
Mm.
could have just played a lolly or something, and but I didn't want to, so I wanted to make my own character. And this is made from
I
scratch,
think
so I own this.
I think the thing that I like most about your avatar is I think like the hair is so good. I'm sorry, without I can't think of another word. I literally just woke up, so I'm really groggy and gross. But I'm like a massive slut for like a high ponytail. Like I like it so much. And I think like your eyes are really nice. And I don't know, just the entire avatar is really good. I really like it. Like
I
this is
appreciate
like an
that.
aesthetic I would try and wear real life if I wasn't so thin.
Don't
I'm
worry,
like too thin.
you just play VR chat and you just there you go. Be wherever you want. I'm a dude in real life. I'm
It's
a
true.
skinny nerd boy. But in VR chat I can be a hot anime waifu.
That's me. I don't know.
Yes.
I think people see me in real life and they're like, make that tall boy go back inside. And I'm like, I'm not even a boy.
Oh.
I have like the most like straight body. I'm like, so I'm like very when I see like Len, Len. When I see
Lanfear.
Len, I'm like, Len's got an ass. I want that ass. I'm like, oh my god.
Have you seen
No
mine?
one ever.
It's like double
I
that
have seen
size.
yours. Yours is really good too. I know, but you have like the legs to go with it though. Like if I had that, I actually I think I would be like more proportionate if I had like your body, because I'm super tall, which is why I only play short.
There is
Ish
someone who actually
girls on
looks like this
Xbox.
in real life. My avatar.
Who? Are you allowed to say like? Sorry, I'm so
My stream
sorry. Sorry.
knows. My stream knows who I'm talking about. There's someone that actually looks like.
Is
Well,
it
she does.
someone from
She
Twitter?
she plays Euro chat. She doesn't have red hair and yellow eyes, but the rest, like just the general body shape, she does.
She have blue hair.
No,
That I don't know who. No, not in real life. Like her VRChat avatar.
no.
Okay, I don't know who you're talking about then.
Her name's Sergeant.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
STG.
I don't think I've met
She
them.
doesn't. She doesn't really play VR. She's actually Australian too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love making like Australian friends, like in VR chat, because like there's just something really disgusting that happens, and like I don't know what it is about Australians, but like you just have like this immediate connection. Like it's like your whole lives are linked, and it's weird. I don't know. Like, I have no idea how it works, but it's always nice. Like I really like meeting American people, but there's something about like okay, I have a bone to pick. I have a bone to pick with like y'all Americans, right?
Okay.
You guys really like the Australian accent, and I don't know why. I don't understand why. It's really gross. Like it like do you like it? I never actually asked you because I only met you for like the first time properly at
But I'm
Necker
not even
2 weeks ago.
American.
Are you Canadian?
Yeah.
Do you like the Australian accent? It's mainly an American thing, I think.
Oh.
You can say no. That's the right answer.
No. Just whatever.
So gross. But I get it all the time. Even when I first started playing Viata and I went to like a public world, people would be like, "Oh, that's an Australian girl," and I was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, I don't understand. Like what? And they're like, "Your voice is like so sexy," and I'm like, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, it's so gross. We just sound so disgusting. We sound really silly, I think, is also sorry for chat if like I offend anyone who's from Australia, but if you're from Australia, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Do you know what a servo is?
A server? I'm assuming it doesn't
No, a
mean
servo
a servo.
with an O. Yeah.
No. What's that?
So it's like, okay, we don't even call them service stations or like gas stations. We call them petrol stations, but then the short word for that is a servo. Have
Okay.
you ever like tried a goon sack before?
A
Do you guys
goon.
have goon sacks?
The hell's a goon sack?
So like, so it's like, sorry, I was muting before because I was coughing. Okay, so what it is basically is that it's wine that comes in a bag that comes in a box. Do you guys have that?
It's a
Or is that
white.
just us?
It's a white that comes in a box.
No, no, wine.
Oh,
Wine, like
wine.
sip.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, wine.
Alcohol.
Wine. Yeah,
Liquor.
yeah, yeah, but do you guys have it where it comes in like a big like silver bag and then it comes inside a box? Do you guys have that?
Any alcoholics in the chat? They would know better. Boxed wine?
It's like box wine, but it comes in a bag. So basically, there's like this thing, and like if you go to like we don't have frat parties because like we don't have those type of university things, but we start partying at like 16 or like 15 or something like that. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Australians are really wild.
It's
I'm gonna
whatever.
say 18 for legal purposes.
No, it
It's
doesn't
fine.
matter.
But
It's
like,
not you. You're not incriminating yourself. It's just
okay, it's
people
them.
do.
Yeah. Oh. So basically, what you do is you take the sack of alcohol out and you peg it to like a clothing line.
Yeah?
Are you with me so far?
Yeah?
And then you just kind of like slice a hole in it and then you drink the whole thing.
What the fuck?
So yeah, that's like a regular thing at like Australian like
Don't you do
parties.
shoeies?
Okay, I had actually never heard of a shoey until maybe about a year ago, and all my friends that live in the same city with me were like, "What the fuck are you on? How have you never had a shoey before?" And I was like, "In what universe would I want to drink alcohol out of a shoe?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
let alone like
disgusting.
not
It's
even my
foot
own
sweat.
shoe, but anybody else's shoe. It's
Yeah.
gross, dude. It's gross." Uh, See, Australians are disgusting. I'm sorry, chat. If
You
there's
ever
any
done
Australians in there, I'm sorry.
well, fuck, what's it called? Guys, what's it called in America where you take a beer and then you pop you make a
A
hole in the
keg stand?
bottom? No, where you take a beer can and then you pop a hole in the bottom and then you have to drink the whole thing or otherwise it spills over you. What do you call
I know,
that?
I know what you're
Shotgun.
talking
It's
about.
shotgunning. You ever shotgun a beer?
I've never done it, but I've seen people do it. I can't like skull things very well. Like I don't know. Apparently, you're supposed to like. Okay, so you know like a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah.
Like apparently, you're supposed to like go like this or something. So it makes like a tiny little whirlpool. So like it goes down easier. I tried doing that and it like went up my nose and I got really upset. So I haven't tried it since. I like don't try sculling anything. I'm just like I'll just get drunk in my own time. It's fine.
Gotta crack open on your forehead, brother. Tell you what, try to shoot that bag wine. Ew. Disgusting.
Oh my god. I hate Australia. Oh my god. It's so gross. Well, like in what universe? Like there's like this tap thing, right? You're supposed to like go like this and it like
Yeah.
opens and the wine comes out, right?
Yeah.
Why did we need to peg it to a clothing line? Why? No one knows. We don't even know. We just do it. Tradition, you
It's
know?
tradition, yeah.
It's a mess.
I mean, same thing in Canada. We have some weird stuff. We do. Well, this is not what I did, but a lot of Canadians, like in more rural country areas, will do mudding. And mudding is when you,
What's that?
it's when you get your pickup truck and your boys, and you just like you just keep driving your truck around the mud like a kid, and you're just like rum, just fucking, and you get drunk and you just fuck around. It's
What?
called go mudding. Let's go mudding, brothers. And you just fucking get your truck, your old ass pickup truck, and you just start like ripping mud, like you're just like doing donuts in the dirt and shit, and just fucking around. It's called go
That sounds
mudding,
so fun.
or you do it with like
That
ATVs and
sounds so fun.
stuff.
Oh.
That's a
Yeah,
Canadian
we have
thing.
like the Outback here, but we don't really have like. Are you talking like it's strictly mud, or are we talking like dirt? I don't know. People do like
You could
burnouts
do
and stuff like in my
mud. I mean,
street.
it's also American thing, but Canada does it as well. But the Canadian way is everyone has like the Canadian accents. Like, oh, let's go out on a boat. Let's go mud and eh. It's just like, what the fuck?
How come you don't have like a very strong Canadian accent?
I was born and
Sorry,
raised in the
I'm
city.
hijacking this interview.
Well, I'm only like
That actually makes a huge difference.
I'm like 3 hours from the border, from the
I didn't
U.S.
realize
Canada
that that would
border.
make like a huge difference.
Um,
Mm.
well, that my parents aren't really like don't have like thick accents either. Neither did my grandparents either. The only time I've ever heard someone with like really thick Canadian accent is where if they're depending on where they're from. Like, if they're from my law teacher in high school, he was from Nova Scotia, and that's like really far east, like out in, like the fucking way out east, like when the fucking go fishing. Like that's like where people fish and shit. Like all the fishers and fucking people. So you sound like the guy from South Park, Mister. What the fuck's the teacher with the big head?
Mr. Garrison?
Yeah, it sounded like Mr.
Oh no.
Garrison. He's like,
No, it's
drugs are bad, okay? You just sound like that all the time.
yeah, that's
He's
not
my
Mr.
law
Garrison. What's
teacher,
his name? It's the
Mr.
it's the other
Mackey.
one. I look. Yeah, Mr. Mackey.
He sounded like Mr. Mackey. He was like, drugs are
Oh,
bad,
right.
okay? He's like first degree murder. They'll give you 25 to life, okay? Don't do it. It's bad. That was my law teacher. Yeah, he sounded just like that, and I asked him. He
Oh
said
my
like,
god,
oh yeah,
that's so
like
funny.
I'm from Nova Scotia, and so like a lot of people sound kind of like that. I'm like, oh okay,
Oh,
okay,
that's so
just
good.
yeah. And I mean, there's also French Canadians. So there's people from Quebec, and they have like really. If you ever watch like XQC, they sound all like that. I fucking
Oh,
he's a French
angry?
Canadian, not angry, but just like that, like accent. He's from like Montreal or
Mm.
whatever. So I'm from the English part of Canada. So I'm also not from
Oh,
the
yeah.
country. I
I'm like
remember,
really bad
uh,
at accents.
uh, my family, we own like a cottage and we go up like every year to the summer and there's like hillbilly rednecks that live there all year round. And they literally sound like they're from
Mm.
like fucking Georgia or some shit. They sound like from the South, from America. They're like, what's going on here? What? Give me some of that pigskin, boy. I'm just like, what you looking at, boy? You eyeing my ATV or something? I was just like, no. They're like, I can tell you one of them city folk. You don't sound like you're from around here. Where you from, boy? I was like, I'm just from the city, dude. Like, what's going on, you know?
Holy heck.
Yeah,
I thought
they're
that
like,
was just kind of like
I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the
I
same
thought
thing
they
in
were all
like
just kind of like
sorry, I was supposed to say it's about the same like every country. There's always like you have your hicks and hillbillies and like people with different accents. The same thing when you go to like UK. Like people always talk about like, oh, you're from London, so you have like a posh accent. Oh, you're from Edinburgh, so you sound like this. And if you're from Wales, then you sound like this. And, you know what I mean? Like there's different accents in every city. You know? I mean, there's like a
have you
Toronto
heard a Bergen
accent.
accent?
A what?
A Bergen accent?
A Bergen accent. What's that?
No, Bogan. So it's like
Bogan?
Bogan.
What's a
It's
Bogan
it's
accent?
basically our versions of like a hillbilly, but they're all on crystal meth.
Crystal meth.
Have you yeah,
What would they
they're
sound
all
like?
wild. Like
What would it sound like?
uh, hold on, chat. I pull
She
this
needs to
out of my
she needs to
fucking whatever's
practice.
out of my soul. I'm not practicing. I just need to like
Okay.
you need to like get in the zone for things, and also I just want to make it seem like I am like putting it on, so people don't actually think I am. So basically, what it sounds like is like if you're at like a train station, right, and you're trying to go home, someone will come up to you, and this is literally every Bergen ever. They all look exactly the same. They're, you know, like the crystal meth jaw,
Yeah.
like when you do like too much, yeah, and like it just fucks with your skull or whatever. Okay, and they'll like come up to you and be like, "Oh, I love. Have you got a ciggy?" And I'll be like, "Sorry," and they'll be like, "Have you got a ciggy or like a lighter?" And I'm like, no. And she's just like, do you know anyone who does? Do you know where the McDonald's is around here? And I'm like, please leave me alone. Like, I'm so scared. Like, please, it's so
I
awful.
was
But like,
expecting
all I can't do a mail in.
I was expecting the like the rasp to be like, "Hey, you got a ciggy? Hey, you know where the McDonald's is?"
Like,
Just like sound
yeah,
like
that's
that.
kind of like the guy one. Actually, like all the Bergen guys sound like Bergen girls. They all sound exactly the same because it's like a super high pitched
Uh,
like
hey, you know
thing.
where the yeah,
And
got any crack? Got any crack? Hey, you know where the McDonald's is?
I think I think more than anything, they're just after cigarettes. Like they don't even want money. They're just like, please,
I
I
don't
want a
even
cigarette
smoke, and
like so
I
bad.
got offered a cigarette once for free. He was like, hey, kid, you want to smoke? I was like, no. He's like, come on,
Yeah,
gotta
you
start
say
sometime.
no.
Gotta start sometime. I was like, no.
How old are you?
I'm 24, almost 25 this year.
Oh. Wait, you were like 24. So it happened recently.
Yeah, I'm in college, so
Oh.
I I went to my downtown because my college has multiple campuses around the city, and one of them is the
Mm.
downtown campus, which is in the middle of my city. My city's not a major city, but like it's a decent sized one. And in the heart of the city is where all the crackheads and the hobos and the bums live. And I don't know why they thought it was a smart idea to build a whole goddamn campus downtown, because that's literally where the rough people live. And I
Oh,
pass by
jeez.
hobos all the time begging for money, and then like this one guy's like, "Hey kid, you got some nice shoes. I know you're rich. You want a ciggy? You want to spare me some change and shit like that?" And I'm just like, "What the fuck?" Because they can tell I don't look like them. I'm a college student, right? Because I look a lot. I have jeans and proper clothes,
Mm.
and I'm clean shaven and not like a hobo. So yeah, I had to deal with a lot of those
Oh my
people
goodness.
for 4 years, and then I went to the main
Mm.
campus, which is no, further away, and it's not where only students are allowed to go to, so you don't see any hobos at the main
Mm.
campus, just normal people.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so strange. Like, I had like this really weird run-in with like a homeless person. This was when I was working because I haven't worked in over a year.
Okay.
Um, but basically, I was like walking and like our city is like pretty big, but
Mhm.
it's just like it has like main strips that like you walk down, and it's like filled with homeless people, which is really sad. It's like super awful. But normally I would just like give them money or something like that because I'm kind of I have like this really weird thing with money. Like I would rather like I don't really need it. You know what I mean? Like I'll live. You know.
Hey, you want to get some
So,
money
but
right
like
now?
for them, it's like um,
I'm just
but
kidding.
like no, it's all right. But like I kind of like understand like the perspective like of like where they are because when I was much younger, I got kicked out of home a whole bunch because like I was never like a super bad kid, and I've even like
Mhm.
talked about it with my parents, but I was just super disrespectful to them, and I never thought it wasn't that like I intentionally did it. It was the fact that like my whole life I just spent like me getting from point A to point B and not thinking about what's in the middle. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And that would like blow up with my mom a lot, and we would like fight now and just be like, and then she would kick me out. So like there were times where like if I had nowhere to stay, like I would just stay at like a bus shelter or something. Like I would just stay there like overnight and like for one night that was like the roughest like those were like the roughest nights of my life like because you don't know if you're going to be safe, you don't know if someone's going to jump you
Mhm.
like, and I'm also terrified of the dark, so I'm like this is great, I don't know what's outside, like this is like super terrifying. So when I see like a homeless person, like I'll go out of my way to like try and help them because like they do that every night, dude, like every night, and it's sometimes it's fucking cold in Melbourne. Like I'm from Melbourne in Australia,
Australia. Yeah.
and like during winter it's like a nightmare. So like I'll just like give them money or whatever and like try to help them out. And then there was this one time, this doesn't happen all the time, but like sometimes you run into in Melbourne especially, I don't know if you guys have this in Canada, you'll have people that they work for like big companies, but they're like professional beggars. So they like pretend to like look really homeless and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then they just yeah, they take money from people, or like sometimes you'll actually run into crackheads who like and my mom would always tell me because I like learned it from my mom to always like give to other people, and she would just be like, you have to be really careful with like when you're giving out money because some people are just going to buy it for cigarettes or
Yeah,
like
and drugs.
drugs and like, and then that money is wasted, you know. And so I had like I never really had a run in with that, but I started to like buy them food instead. Like if I was just like at a grocery store and I saw someone, I would just get them like a fucking 20 pack of like muesli bars, which isn't helpful at all, but like it's enough to like make you stop being hungry. Like you know what I mean? So I bought like some guy like McDonald's, right? Because I was like, oh fuck it, I kind of want McDonald's too. Like I wanted a drink, so I got him like a cheeseburger meal and stuff, and like I gave it to him, and he like swore at me and spat at me and like was like, don't give me this shit. Like, give me money. And I was like, fuck you, bro. And like, I got on my train and just ate the food. I was like, fuck that. Like, what the hell is that? But it's like small things like that that like really deter people from like trying to help homeless people. And like, even for me, I was like, why would I help anyone? Like, that one feeling is the most awful thing ever. Like, it's like really like stepping on you. And then I'm just like, wah, but then I got over it really fast. But yeah, I'm like, I was just thinking about like you talking about like homeless people and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
dealings with that is really bad.
That's
It's really
yeah.
awful. So,
I mean I want to try and help homeless people. I never done it, I'm gonna be honest. But the reason why I didn't like if I did, I'd probably just buy them food or something like that. But there's been times where I've seen it, like because
mm.
I had to go downtown for 4 years and I had to walk down the same streets and I would see the same people and they would recognize me because they know I'm a student and they always beg me for money. And the few times that I actually like maybe give them a buck or two, they would then wait for me every day at the same time and knew that I was passing. They'd be like, "Hey, you gave me money before. Give me some more money."
Give me money again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's why I stopped because I was just like, it's the same person that's gonna like now they're dependent on me. Now they're like their life goal is to depend on me for money, and that I would give them money. So
It's also the fact that they've like, to them, it's like they've seen like a weakness in you, right? Like they've seen
yeah, they're like,
kindness in you,
oh,
and
you
then it's like
kind.
an exploiting thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really awful because like not all people are like that, and it's like the few people like for instance like our cases, it like ruined that one like encounter ruins it for so many people, you
Mhm.
know. And like that's why people talk about homeless people so badly. It's not because like you know, obviously their situation is very bad, and like for most people, like most people wouldn't want to be near someone like that anyway. But it's also the fact that like there you run into like a lot of rude homeless people who might not necessarily be homeless, or they're crackheads. So it's like a weird like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's a struggle. So
I get what you're
can't help
saying.
everyone.
We'll running
Enjoy.
about just over an hour now. We'll take a question or two, and then we'll wrap it up here. Can't believe an hour went by
Oh, no worries.
that fast. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the sad reality of homeless people and stuff is that like it's the act of kindness of like giving them money or food or something. And then sometimes like they'll get angry and like tell you to fuck off or whatever. And then sometimes they'll like
Mm.
they accept it, but then there's also the chance that like someone now depends on you. They're like, oh, this guy's really kind or girl, and now I know that he's gonna always give me money if I see him or food. So now I'm gonna ask him all the time. And you're like, oh fuck. Now they're like, because I've seen situations where like one of my friends told me how they're very generous and they'll give money to homeless people all the time. And then like the one time,
Mm.
this homeless person again like for like the fifth time asked them money, and then they didn't give like them a dollar or two. And this homeless person like pulled a knife on them and said, "Give me your fucking whole wallet now." Like and like they're like, "What the fuck?" Like
It's like,
so
oh god.
you get into those
You did
situations
something
like
nice
that.
for someone and like it's just
Yeah. Now
yeah,
they
it
want
just
your
felt
whole wallet.
silly.
It's like holy shit. And then my friend said, "No, I don't really help homeless people like ever, because of that one time,
Mm.
because they got like
Yeah,
robbed
and
at
it's awful, and no
knife
one should
point."
go through that.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
sucks. So any questions for Ayla? Right? Sorry, is Ayla right?
Yeah, Aylaahmao, or you can call me Leah as well.
Okay, Leah.
So
Any questions for Leah or I? So I'm really bad with names in general. Just so you know, like everyone's name I butcher. But
it's okay, don't worry.
in the meantime, I got another question I could ask. What's one thing you want to change about VR chat? Add a
Oh,
feature, remove it, or just general?
I'm not too savvy on like on features of like a game. Like I'm not. I actually didn't even know that the IK issue was like a real thing because
Mm-hmm.
I'm very ditzy most of the time. So I just thought I was moving faster than everybody else because I get told that a lot. I move a lot. Like I'm very like jittery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they can fix that. That would be really nice because I can't hug people most of the time because I have to be standing still for like 5 or 6 seconds before
Yep.
someone sees me. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Um, like that, I don't know if this is like a possible thing, but just like a way to like um, I I just want Publix to like be safe again. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I know that you can't do that. But if there's like a way that like the devs could like work on like a, I don't know, like a,
Security
well, I mean, like
system.
we already have the thing to like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like we already have a way to like turn off animations and stuff like that. So it makes it like
Well,
less harder for people to crash you. But
if there's a way to actually ban people permanently, maybe it would happen. Because right now, if you're malicious and do something bad, you can yes, your account will be banned, but you can just make a new one in 5 minutes. So like,
yeah, and then just come back.
yeah,
But there is
exactly,
like new users everywhere, so it's kind of just pointless. So
exactly.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hopefully like they can work on something, and I'm sure the devs are like I'm sure the devs like actually think about like
Mhm.
what their game is now, especially from like a new player base. So
Yeah, Kenshi says, do you get
that's
annoyed
really
when
cool.
your chat asks you to do a face reveal?
I don't get annoyed. I tend to just say that I probably won't do it. Before I started streaming VR chat, I was actually from Variety, so I used to stream with like with
Face
my
cam.
face up
Yeah.
and yeah, with the face cam and stuff. So I don't really get annoyed, but people are asking a lot more now, and I'm not because I'm not like a mute and I'm not a very private person. I'm very like extroverted and stuff like that. I like I've never really been behind the whole like if we get like 10,000 followers or something like that, we'll do like a face reveal. I think it's a really good incentive, but like people were asking me to do that, and I'm like I've already face revealed, so like
Just
so
look on
like
your
I don't
Twitter.
really need to.
Look, your face is right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So, so
can you do a
it's
face
it's like a
reveal?
really
Just
strange
go to
thing.
Twitter, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah, just like command Twitter, but no, I don't get like annoyed by it, but it's just um it's just an odd thing to ask, but also like you have new people coming into your stream all the time who don't know you, so it's just one of those things where you have to like keep repeating it over and over again. But that's fine. Thank you for the question. Oh,
All right, we'll
yes.
we'll wrap it up here. My mom just went to bed, so I have to be
Oh,
quiet now.
oh, okay.
So
Are you gonna go do your RP stuffs?
yes, I'll still be whispering and doing my thing with that. But I'll put the camera on myself or on you. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
shout yourself out, anything you want to plug or anything, you don't have to, but just in case you do.
That I don't need to, but I just want to say thank you for having me on like the podcast interview thing. I was
Mhm.
super nervous for it. I was like, I don't know like what to talk about or how to. I'm not used to like not leading, if that makes sense. Like in terms of like a stream or like a interview or like just a talk thing. I'm never really the one
Mhm.
being questioned. So this was kind of like a new experience. So thank you for that. It was really fun, and you were a great host. Like big
I,
fan of
I
your work.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, we have to cut this a little short, but yeah, my mom's going to bed now, and yeah, just thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you till next time. Maybe I'll see you at Neck on Nights tonight. I don't know. I'll be there if you really want to know.
Yes.
I'll be in full body.
Maybe I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm your host, Owen
Are
Rebel,
you
and
gonna dance?
try to.
Shit. I'll do your outro.
No, 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 come back. No, it's over. Like, just thank you so much for stopping by. I'm your host, Owen Rebel. It's my talk show, Late Night Rebel, and yeah, until next time. But the stream's gonna still go on because I have RP stuff. Before you go, we'll take a selfie, and then you can go be on your way.
Okay, I'm going back to bed.
Or bed. Yeah, one
Hi.
second.
Hi.
I need to turn off chairs. Am I sitting? Oh, boop.
Oh.
You can turn off chairs.